Hello everyone. Tonight we will take a long, peaceful and thoroughly unhurried journey through the life of a great white shark. Not the one you see in movies or thrilling documentaries, but the quiet, repetitive shark who drifts for miles each day without fanfare. This is your life as a great white shark. You begin as a pup, only about 4 feet long, born into the shallows. There is no mother waiting for you, no lessons to be given, no warm protection. You must swim alone from the very first heartbeat of your independent life. The water is filled with shimmering fish, the gentle sway of kelp, and 1,000 quiet dangers. You do not know them all yet, but your instincts push you forward, sensing the shapes that move around you. Your teeth, even as a pup, are already sharp. Small fish and crustaceans become your first meals. You learn quickly that if you do not feed, you will die. There is no luxury of skipping a meal in the ocean. The water is cool. The sunlight filters through the surface, scattering in ripples around you. Each ray of light marks another chance to hide or to hunt, depending on how you move. Your first year is dangerous, surrounded by threats at every turn. Larger sharks would eat you if they could catch you, and so you remain cautious, hugging rocks, slipping through shadows, hoping each day is one more day to grow bigger and stronger. Your gills open and close with a steady rhythm, 5 slits on each side, working tirelessly to extract oxygen. You do not think of breathing. You do not think of resting. You only swim. As you move through the water, you begin to sense vibrations more clearly. Your lateral line, a sensitive row of cells running along each side of your body, picks up even the tiniest flutter of a struggling fish. You turn toward these signals without hesitation, guided by instincts older than the oceans themselves. You catch a small fish, swallowing it whole. The fish is gone in moments, and there is no waste. Each scrap of energy becomes part of you, helping you grow. Every day the ocean changes. Tides shift, temperatures swing, light fades and returns. You feel it all, understanding a subtle language written in movement, salt and flow. Weeks pass, then months, and your small body grows. Your muscles thicken, your jaw grows stronger, your bite gains power. The smaller fish you once feared now dart away from you in fear as you become a greater presence in their world. You test deeper waters beyond the safe coastal shallows. There you find rays gliding across the sand and even small sharks moving carefully through reef cracks. These are more challenging prey, stronger, faster, demanding more skill and courage. You learn to test them, to circle, to strike at their weakest moments. You do not socialize with others of your kind. Sharks are solitary, crossing paths only when drawn to the same kill or the same seasonal waters. Even then you keep your distance, unless you are willing to fight. If there is food enough, you share without speaking, a quiet truce written in toothy glances. If there is too little, you show your power with a flex of your jaw, and one shark will retreat. There is no friendship. There is only opportunity and survival. Your teeth continue their endless cycle, each new row waiting behind the first, like soldiers in formation, ready to move forward as older teeth break or fall out. There is no pause, no shortage, only endless replacement. You learn to attack from below, where sunlight hides your silhouette. You drift upward with a calm stillness, then explode with speed at the moment you choose, biting down with powerful jaws. Sometimes you miss. That is acceptable. You try again, because you cannot afford to give up. There is no shame in failure if you continue hunting. The days are long and slow, with no hurry, no schedule, only the steady beat of your tail and the rhythm of breath and water. At night, the ocean cools. Your blood stays warmer than the sea, thanks to specialized vessels, giving you an advantage in the dark when other fish slow. Your eyes gather every scrap of moonlight or distant glow, reflecting it back like mirrors, letting you see shadows that would be invisible to most. You pass over the sandy floor, littered with shells, bones, and the fragments of creatures who did not survive. You do not wonder about them. You do not mourn them. You simply swim on. The sea is both your cradle and your battlefield, calm one moment and violent the next. You do not fear it. You cannot fear what is part of you. Your sense of smell is unmatched. One drop of blood in 1,000,000 gallons of water, and you will know, drawn to it over miles of shifting current. You glide through kelp forests, long fronds brushing your fins. Tiny fish scatter at your approach, flashing silver as they flee. You ignore them today. They are too small to satisfy your hunger. A ray glides lazily over the sand, its wide wings stirring up dust. You watch it, testing whether your hunger demands action, but you hold back. Sometimes even a shark can afford to wait. The current changes, pulling you farther down the coastline. You do not resist. The ocean is your highway, and its roads bend and shift with no warning. Above you, storms batter the surface, but down below, the water remains steady and silent. Your swimming never stops. The gills never stop pulling oxygen from the water. The tail never stops pushing you forward. Your muscles contract in perfect rhythm. You are never still. It is impossible. You were born to move, and moving is living. To stop is to die, and so you will never truly rest. As the months go by, you grow longer, heavier, stronger. Your weight doubles and then doubles again. Your body is covered in tiny scales shaped like teeth, each one adding armor against attack. Scars appear across your snout and fins, marks of other sharks you challenged, of prey that fought back, of reefs you brushed against at speed. You do not see them, but they are there, written on you like a quiet history of your survival. Some days bring easy hunting. Fish are plentiful, wounded or too slow to flee. You catch them without struggle, tearing them apart with practiced skill. Other days bring only emptiness, no prey in sight, no scent of blood on the current. You travel on, your stomach hollow, trusting your instincts that the ocean will provide if you keep searching. Patience is your greatest skill. Your swimming takes you past rocky drop-offs where eels hide, past ridges where schools of fish glitter in enormous swirling clouds. You circle them sometimes, measuring, calculating, but you do not strike if it is not worth the energy. Too many at once, moving too quickly, can waste precious effort. You prefer the weak, the lonely, the wounded. They are easier. They let you keep your reserves for the battles that matter. As seasons shift, the water cools and warms, bringing new migrations of prey. Young seals learn to swim in the spring, and you watch from below, waiting for one to slip. Your shape goes unnoticed in the gloom until you rise with powerful strokes, jaws opening, biting with speed the seal cannot match. It is over in an instant, no struggle, no grand chase, just a precise attack perfected over millennia. Once full, you sink to a slower pace, letting your meal digest. Your liver grows thick with oils, storing reserves for leaner days. It is massive inside you, taking up nearly a third of your body. It helps you stay afloat, helps you cross entire oceans, and feeds your muscles when prey is scarce. It is your fuel tank, your life raft, and your emergency pantry all at once. Each day, you feel the pulse of the world through the water, the beat of waves, the pull of tides, the hush of endless currents that have moved since the first fish lived on this planet. You know no names for these forces, but you trust them all the same. The sun shifts higher, the water grows warm, and fish return to shallow reefs to spawn. They are bold, distracted, defending nests and territory. You find them easy targets in these months, taking advantage of their divided attention. Your presence is the silent threat in their world, drifting patiently through the shallows, measuring their movements, testing their weakness. Sometimes you pass through coral forests older than any tree, their shapes rough and beautiful in a way you cannot name. They have been here since before you were born, and they will stand long after you are gone. You slip between their arches, careful not to brush your rough skin against sharp coral branches. You sense schools of smaller fish hiding among the coral, but you leave them alone, waiting for a better meal. You chase rays across wide plains of sand, biting down when they bury themselves halfway, thinking they are hidden. You know their heartbeats give them away, and your senses find them, even under a layer of silt. There is no mercy in this world, only a moment of calm before the inevitable strike. Nights bring deeper cold, and you slow a little, letting one side of your brain rest while the other remains awake. The darkness feels thick, a silence you welcome as you patrol the coastline. There is no rush, no schedule, only the steady beat of your tail and the promise that tomorrow you will hunt again, and the cycle will continue exactly as it has for countless years. Storms sweep across the surface, rain falling so hard it pounds the waves into foam, but you remain far below, undisturbed. The deep stays calm, the pressure steady, a world apart from the chaos overhead. You feel the pounding of rain only as a faint tremor through the water, a distant reminder of weather you will never face directly. Your hunger returns in cycles. You follow the trail of whales, giants who move with slow confidence. You do not attack the healthy ones, but you can sense the weakness in a sick or dying whale, and you wait. Sometimes the whale dies, sinking slowly through the water, and you feast on its blubber and meat for days. A whale carcass is enough food to feed you and other scavengers for weeks. A massive banquet where you claim your share without apology. Your teeth slice through the blubber, biting off enormous chunks, swallowing them in greedy gulps. Other sharks gather, circling closer, testing your patience, but you show them your powerful jaws and hold your place. No one challenges you once they see your size, your scars, your confidence. When the whale is picked clean, you leave, your belly heavy, your body satisfied, your mind already returning to the patterns of the hunt. There is no sense of thanks, no memory of the feast, only the deep calm of a predator ready to swim onward into another day, trusting the ocean to feed you again. Storms sweep across the surface, rain falling so hard it pounds the waves into foam, but you remain far below, undisturbed. The deep stays calm, the pressure steady, a world apart from the chaos overhead. You feel the pounding of rain only as a faint tremor through the water, a distant reminder of weather you will never face directly. Your hunger returns in cycles. You follow the trail of whales, giants who move with slow confidence. You do not attack the healthy ones, but you can sense the weakness in a sick or dying whale, and you wait. Sometimes the whale dies, sinking slowly through the water, and you feast on its blubber and meat for days. A whale carcass is enough food to feed you and other scavengers for weeks. A massive banquet where you claim your share without apology. Your teeth slice through the blubber, biting off enormous chunks, swallowing them in greedy gulps. Other sharks gather, circling closer, testing your patience, but you show them your powerful jaws and hold your place. No one challenges you once they see your size, your scars, your confidence. When the whale is picked clean, you leave, your belly heavy, your body satisfied, your mind already returning to the patterns of the hunt. There is no sense of thanks, no memory of the feast, only the deep calm of a predator ready to swim onward into another day, trusting the ocean to feed you again. As the seasons shift again, you feel the water grow warmer and new scents arrive on the current. Sea lions return to their breeding rocks, barking and diving in careless leaps. Among them are the young and untrained, their movements uncertain, their instincts unpracticed. These are the ones you watch most closely. You hover far below, patient, letting your pale belly blend with sunlight above and your dark back fade into the deep below. They cannot see you. They do not know you wait. Your approach is quiet, nothing but a gentle rising in the water, until the moment comes when you explode upward with force and speed that nothing among them can match. The bite is quick, the impact final. You do not chase them for the thrill. You do not roar in triumph. You hunt because you must, because your body is a machine that needs fuel, and the ocean provides it. Once the seal is weakened, you return to finish it, taking careful bites, conserving your strength. When you have fed enough, you swim away, letting the remains drift, knowing that smaller scavengers will find their share. Nothing is wasted in the sea. Energy flows from one creature to another, and you are simply one more link in that endless cycle, a ruler of these waters, but still part of the same circle of life and death. Distant storms stir the water far beyond where the rain ever touches, sending rolling swells through the ocean. You feel that movement in every muscle, a rocking that you do not resist. You ride with it, following the signals through drifting fields of kelp that sway like green curtains. Small fish gather among them, feeding on plankton and scattering when you glide past. They are too small to bother with, so you ignore them. Your tail moves in steady, powerful strokes, carrying you over rocky slopes, where the bottom drops into a deeper canyon. The chill that rises from below reminds you of the strange creatures in the depths, animals built for a world of darkness you will never know. You are not made for stillness or hiding, but for motion, for hunting, for endless travel. Turning away from the cold, you head back toward the shallows, where warmth promises more prey. The days blur together in the vast blue, marked only by the rise and fall of the sun's pale light. Night brings a soft darkness that soothes you, and you swim through it without pause. Half your brain sleeps, while the other stays awake, letting you move without stopping. Your instincts never rest. Near the rocks, young seals slip from the ledges to play in the shallows. Unaware of the shape drifting below, you watch patiently, measuring their movements. They will make a mistake, and when they do, you will strike with calm speed, ending the hunt before it begins. There is no triumph, only survival. After a kill, you feed slowly, taking careful bites, saving your strength. What remains drifts away, a gift for smaller fish and crabs. Nothing is wasted in the sea. The current shifts again, cooler this time, telling you that far-off storms have changed the ocean. You turn your nose into the flow, letting it carry you onward. You trust the sea completely, knowing it will always lead you to the next hunt. The water becomes your path, the pulse of waves, a map written in movement and scent. No destination calls you. You go where the ocean wants. The sun returns, pale gold through the moving surface, and fish rise from their hiding places to feed. They crowd the reef edges, distracted by the safety of daylight. You observe them without hurry, letting the smaller ones slip past, saving your energy. Patience is a hunter's greatest tool. When a careless fish strays too far, you launch forward, jaws snapping shut with precision. One quick shake, and it is over. You do not linger, taking what you need before moving on. Every meal is fuel to keep swimming, to stay strong, to survive another day. You move through the water with steady power, each flick of your tail balanced and sure, your entire body built for travel without end. The sea holds no road signs, no borders, but you know it all the same, reading the smallest change in current and the faintest trail of scent, like a map only you can understand. The warmth of shallower water feels like a promise that prey will be close, and you follow it, letting instinct guide you. Small fish scatter before your shadow, but you ignore them, keeping your focus on larger prey. Far ahead you sense a colony of seals, their energy bright and careless. The young ones splash clumsily, unaware of the quiet danger that waits. You slow your movements, silent and patient, staying below where your shape is hidden. When the moment comes, you surge upward, jaws opening wide in a perfect strike that ends the hunt before it begins. There is no celebration, only the calm routine of a predator feeding as it must. You take what you need, then move away, leaving scraps to the smaller hunters who follow in your wake. For days after, you cruise the coastline, not tied to any place, letting the sea choose your path. Storms come and go overhead, but you remain far beneath their fury, wrapped in steady currents. Sometimes you see another shark passing close, the water holding both your scents for a moment. You measure each other with slow turns, reading sighs and confidence in a silent conversation older than language. If there is no challenge, you glide apart. No fight needed, each respecting the other's strength. You remember these encounters only as brief impressions, then move on. Time does not matter, only the endless blue and your own hunger, which always returns. The water shifts again, colder and clearer, hinting at far-off storms stirring the currents. You sense it not as danger, but as change, something to adapt to. You have done this your entire life, moving with the ocean's moods rather than against them. New scents arrive on the flow, fish gathering to spawn, rays returning to feed on buried crabs, young seals learning to swim for the first time. You glide through these signals, marking their rhythms, letting your instincts weigh what is worth hunting and what is not. Patience is your greatest weapon, more powerful than teeth or speed, and you use it now, conserving your strength. Your gills pull oxygen from the moving sea with perfect efficiency, fueling the steady beats of your muscles as you wait. When you do attack, it is quick and decisive, a flash of white belly from below, jaws clamping around your prey with crushing certainty. The water fills with the metallic taste of blood, and you feed without waste, swallowing flesh and oil that will sustain you for days. There is no triumph in this, no celebration. The hunt is simply another part of your endless journey. When you finish, you let the scraps fall, knowing they will feed smaller fish and crabs. Nothing goes to waste in the ocean, and you are only one part of that vast system. A link in a chain that began long before you and will continue long after. You move on, satisfied, ready to swim again into the endless blue. The days that follow pass without hurry, the sun rising and falling in rhythms you no longer measure. You travel along the coastline, crossing kelp forests where the water glows green in the shifting light, the fronds dancing around you as small fish dart for cover. You ignore them, focused instead on the steady pull of the current that guides you toward deeper water. There, the bottom slopes away into a blue-grey void, colder and darker, a place you have visited many times. You do not fear it, you simply adjust, letting your blood run warmer than the sea so you can keep hunting when other fish grow sluggish. You glide through this deeper world with the same ease, sensing every small vibration and pulse around you. Sometimes a whale passes above, massive and gentle, its song echoing through miles of water. You feel it in your bones, a reminder of how vast this ocean is and how many creatures share it. You do not challenge such giants, but you remember them, storing the faint taste of their path in case one day they grow weak and become your food. For now, you continue on, never stopping, never truly resting. Your tail powers you forward in measured beats, each movement perfected by years of practice and generations of memory. You trust these patterns more than anything, letting them carry you wherever the ocean leads. There is no destination, only motion, and the certainty that as long as you keep swimming, you will survive. The currents turn warmer as you rise again toward the shallows, pulled by a memory as old as your blood. Here, fish gather in thick schools, their scales flashing like quicksilver in the sunlight. You move through them with slow precision, testing their reactions, watching for a weak or injured one. Patience guides you, saving your strength until the moment is right. Then you surge forward, jaws opening in a single clean strike that scatters the school and leaves one fish caught between your teeth. You shake it once, ending its struggle, and swallow it whole. No wasted movement, no cruelty, only the perfect routine of a predator that knows exactly what it needs. With your hunger eased, you drift for a time, letting the water carry you, your senses open to every ripple and scent. Other hunters move nearby, barracuda, smaller sharks, but they keep their distance, sensing your power. You feel no rivalry with them, only a silent understanding. The ocean is big enough for you all, so long as there is prey to feed each of you. The days blend together, one long story of motion and survival. You measure time not in hours, but in tides and seasons, in the migrations of seals and fish, in the shifting patterns of the sea's endless pulse. You trust that pulse, trusting it more than any memory, letting it guide you forward without question, as you have done since the moment you first began to swim. The night comes again, dark and quiet, beneath a moon blurred by clouds. You swim steadily through the shadowed water, your eyes tuned to gather every trace of light, your senses reading the faintest changes around you. The world seems still, but you know it never truly rests. Somewhere nearby, a ray shifts on the sand, stirring a small puff of dust. You catch the pulse of its heartbeat through your sensitive snout, a living spark hidden beneath the calm. You move closer, slow and careful, until you are sure. Then you strike with perfect speed, jaws closing in a single motion, the ray's life ending before it can react. You do not linger, swallowing the meal and continuing on without hesitation. Hunting is never personal, never cruel, simply survival written in instinct. The current changes direction, bringing colder water from far offshore. You feel the new flow wrap around your fins, reading its temperature, its taste, its promise. Change does not frighten you. It is as much a part of the ocean as salt and waves, and you know how to follow it. You turn into the fresh current, letting it guide you toward new feeding grounds. Your tail beats in quiet rhythm, your gills pull steady breaths, and your mind stays empty of doubt. There is no plan, no goal beyond surviving, but that is enough. The ocean gives, and the ocean takes, and you move through it, exactly as you were meant to do. Ruler of nothing, servant of nothing, simply alive. The ocean floor below you changes once more, rising in gentle slopes that hint at the approach of another reef. Here the water is rich with life, the scent of fish heavy on the current. You slow your pace, drifting in the flow, allowing the sea itself to bring signals of what waits ahead. Schools of small fish shimmer near the coral, darting into hiding places as you pass. You do not waste effort on them. Instead, you listen for the deeper rhythms, the larger movements that speak of prey worthy of your strength. A lone seal may travel this path, or a careless ray, and you will be ready. Patience fills the space where hunger used to press. Your body knows how to wait. The sun breaks through the clouds for a time, casting shafts of gold into the water. The reef below seems to glow, its corals bright against the blue. You pass over it like a shadow, disturbing nothing, simply part of the great rhythm of the sea. Other hunters share these waters, barracuda with silver teeth, smaller sharks hoping for scraps, but they stay clear, giving you the space owed to your size and power. You pay them no mind. You move as you always have, forward without end, never staying in one place long enough to belong, never needing to. Your purpose is simple, your path as wide as the ocean itself. Your guide the endless current beneath your fins. A new scent drifts through the water, sharp and bright, unmistakable. Blood. You turn toward it with the certainty of instinct, reading the trail with senses far beyond sight. Somewhere ahead, a creature has been wounded, and that weakness calls to every predator nearby. You move quickly but without panic, letting the current do most of the work, conserving your energy for the moment of attack. The trail grows stronger, and soon you see the flicker of silver scales. A fish injured and slow, its movements uneven. You strike without hesitation, jaws closing in a clean, practiced bite. The fish stops struggling, and you feed, efficient and calm, swallowing the meal in a few powerful gulps. The sea carries away any trace of the kill, erasing your presence almost as soon as you move on. The current continues to shift, tugging at you with gentle insistence, and you follow it away from the reef, back toward open water. You do not question why. Your entire life is built on this trust that the ocean will provide what you need if you listen closely and move without fear. Your gills pull steady streams of oxygen from the flow, your muscles flex in smooth rhythm, and your mind stays quiet, ready for whatever comes next. There is no worry, no regret, only the endless blue. The open sea greets you once more, vast and quiet beneath a grey sky. The waves roll in long, gentle swells that rock your body without slowing you down. You swim steadily, each movement confident, tuned by years of survival. There is no destination, only the certainty that you will keep going as long as your heart beats and your gills draw breath. Somewhere in this wide water, prey will appear just as it always has, and you will be ready. Your senses never truly rest, scanning for the faintest vibration, the smallest scent that signals opportunity. The ocean is generous to those who listen, and you have listened all your life. Far below, the bottom sinks into deep blue shadows. You feel its chill rise toward you, a reminder of the darker world that exists far out of sight. Creatures live down there that move with the patience of centuries, their hearts slow, their bodies built for stillness. You are different. You are the constant hunter, made for motion, for endless travel through warm and cold, shallow and deep. You let the memory of those hidden depths pass without fear, staying instead in the open water, where the currents move freely and the sun sometimes reaches you. You trust the sea as much as any living creature can trust a world, and that trust has kept you alive through every year, every tide, every hunt. The days roll on, blending into each other with a calm that feels eternal. You no longer mark time except by the pull of the tides or the migrations of seals and fish. Your path is guided by patterns deeper than memory, carried by the sea's currents and the instinct written into every cell of your body. A distant echo reaches you through the water, the low hum of a ship's engine far overhead. You do not fear it, but sense its presence, an alien sound that does not belong to the natural world. You let it pass, unbothered, returning your focus to the living ocean. As you swim, a new trail arrives, faint at first but unmistakable, the smell of fresh blood drifting on the current. Your senses sharpen, body tuning itself for the hunt. You follow the trail with practiced patience, letting the water do the work of carrying you closer. Soon the source becomes clear, a struggling fish, wounded and slowing, its motions clumsy and tired. You surge forward in a single, perfect attack, ending its struggle before it can vanish into the gloom. You feed with calm efficiency, swallowing the flesh in quick, powerful gulps, then move on without hesitation. No pride, no thrill, only survival. The sea erases all traces of the moment as soon as you leave, and you slip again into your silent patrol, swimming forward through the endless blue, ready for whatever the ocean offers next. The water grows clearer as you push into new territory, the sunlight reaching deeper and making every ripple sparkle. You move with the same steady confidence, each flick of your tail controlled and measured. The ocean feels familiar here, its temperatures and currents matching memories stored deep in your senses. You have traveled this way before, seasons ago, following the same pull of instinct and hunger. Nothing has changed in your purpose. You are still a hunter, a traveler, a creature built for endless motion. Small fish scatter as you pass, their bodies flashing silver before they vanish into the shelter of rocks and weeds. You do not bother chasing them. They are not worth your effort today. Instead, you focus on the bigger signs. The smell of seals on the breeze, the faint sound of splashes far ahead, the sudden quiet of prey that senses danger. You follow these signals, letting them lead you without question. Your mind stays empty, your movements patient, your breathing steady. There is no rush, only certainty. The reef ahead rises from the sand like an ancient monument, crowded with fish and coral that live in an endless cycle of birth and death. You pass above it without slowing, reading the shapes below for any movement that might offer a meal. Smaller predators hover around the edges, keeping their distance. They know you could take their catch if you wanted to, and you know it too, but today you move on, trusting the sea will provide. The sunlight reaches deeper in these clearer waters, tracing ripples across your back as you return to the reef, a monument of coral rising from the sand and teeming with life. You move slowly through this place you know so well, letting the warmth surround you, reading every flicker and scent with patient focus. Smaller fish dart away as you pass, flashing silver before vanishing into cracks in the reef. You pay them no mind, holding your energy for something bigger, something worth the chase. You sense seals somewhere ahead, their voices faint as they play in circles, unaware of the silent hunter below. You drift beneath them calmly, your body part of the shifting light, watching for a moment when one drifts too far or slows for just a second. You trust the sea will provide. The current changes, carrying a strong coppery scent of blood that sharpens your senses. You turn, reading its story without hesitation, following every swirl and trail as it leads you closer. A wounded fish appears, weakened from another attack, moving with ragged strokes. You close the distance in one smooth rush, jaws closing with perfect precision to end its struggle. You swallow each bite, calmly, nothing wasted, no triumph needed. Once finished, you move on through the endless blue, leaving no sign of what happened, no memory beyond the steady confidence that tomorrow you will swim again. Hunting without pride or guilt, guided only by instinct and the call of the sea. The open ocean welcomes you once more, wide and rolling under a pale sky, its surface touched by soft waves that rock your path. You swim with quiet confidence, muscles tuned to each beat of your tail, senses reading every faint vibration around you. The sea feels endless but familiar, carrying you forward as it always has. Smaller hunters race through schools of fish in bursts of chaos, yet you remain calm, conserving your energy for a more certain chance. The reef slowly fades behind you, replaced by deeper water where the sun grows weaker and shadows stretch longer. You trust these deeper places too, for they hold new rhythms, new life waiting to be found, and you do not question where the current takes you next. As night falls, the world cools and dims, and you continue moving, half of your mind resting while the other stays awake to listen. Above, stars reflect across the rolling sea, distant and cold, but oddly comforting. A faint scent drifts into your path, the whisper of prey carried on the slow push of the tide. You follow it patiently, letting the water deliver you forward, believing that the ocean will provide, as it always has. There is no fear, no hurry, only the calm certainty of a hunter born to this world. Your heart beats in perfect time, your gills pull fresh water, and you trust the flow to carry you onward. Each day another chance to feed, another chapter written in the blue, never stopping, never doubting. The currents shift again, cooler and faster, hinting at distant storms stirring the sea far beyond your sight. You ride their force without resistance, letting them pull you across miles of open water. The deep beneath you drops away, silent and cold, hiding strange creatures you will never meet, but you feel no fear. You were built for this moving world, built to travel through darkness and light with the same steady calm. As you swim, your senses stay open, watching for any small flicker of weakness in the vast space around you. The sea is never empty if you know how to listen, and you have been listening all your life. The days blend together, each one marked only by the rise and fall of the sun through the water. Sometimes you cross paths with another shark, measuring each other's strength with a slow circle before moving apart in silent agreement. There is no reason to fight if there is food enough, and the ocean is wide enough for you both. You continue on, following invisible roads drawn by salt and current, guided by instincts older than any memory. Your mind holds no plans beyond survival, no worries about tomorrow, only the quiet certainty that the ocean provides what you need. Your body moves in perfect balance, never stopping, never tiring, carried by the endless blue toward the next hunt, the next moment when instinct and opportunity will meet again, and you will answer, as you always have, without hesitation. The water lightens as you move toward shallower banks, the sun reaching deeper, painting shifting gold across your back. You sense reefs below, crowded with coral and schools of fish, their movements quick and nervous as you pass overhead. You ignore the smallest shadows, holding your patience for something greater. Your strength is not meant for chasing what barely satisfies, but for striking when the reward is worth every beat of your heart. You move slowly, conserving your power, letting the ocean's quiet voice lead you. Somewhere ahead, you catch the faint call of seals, young ones calling to each other in the morning light, unaware of the hunter drifting far beneath them. Your path curves closer, guided by the flow, and you wait, letting the sea bring you the moment you need. When it arrives, you react with the perfect speed of instinct, bursting upward with jaws wide, ending the chase before it even begins. There is no celebration, only necessity, and you feed without waste, strong and calm. Smaller fish will clean what you leave behind, nothing lost, everything part of the cycle. Once satisfied, you return to the deep, where the water cools and quiets, wrapping around you like a steady heartbeat. You swim on, following the endless current without question, no destination beyond tomorrow's hunt, no memory beyond what keeps you alive. The ocean is your only guide, and you trust it completely, the rhythm of its movement matching your own until they are the same. The open sea stretches out before you, rolling and endless, its surface broken only by the glint of distant waves. You swim with the same silent focus, letting the water push and pull around you, every muscle tuned for motion without rest. Smaller predators move nearby, flashing through schools of baitfish in chaotic bursts. But you stay calm, conserving your strength. Patience has always been your greatest ally. You followed the deep lines of the current as if they were familiar roads, trusting them to guide you where prey will gather. There is no plan beyond that trust, no goal except to keep moving and keep living, and that is enough. As the sun lowers, the world cools, and a hush spreads across the water. You move through this quiet with the same confidence, half your brain resting, half awake, always listening for the next signal. Above you, seabirds wheel in the fading light, their cries distant and strange. You do not fear them or the darkness they herald. You have traveled these paths countless times, each night just another moment in the endless rhythm of survival. A faint scent brushes your senses, the coppery trail of fresh blood. You turn smoothly, letting the current carry you closer, knowing that somewhere a meal waits. There is no hurry, only certainty, and you glide forward with the perfect calm of a predator made to rule the endless blue, guided by instinct, powered by the sea, ready for whatever comes next. The water grows cooler as you push beyond the reef, carried by a current rolling straight from the open sea. The change feels right, a signal of shifting seasons, something you have followed all your life without needing to question. New scents arrive with the colder water, faint trails of fish schooling together, rays burying themselves in the sand, seals venturing farther from shore. You move among these signs with steady calm, measuring each one, deciding if it is worth the chase. Most are not. You save your energy for the best chance, the moment when instinct and opportunity align perfectly. Your body is a machine of survival, built to wait as long as it takes. Night returns with a pale moon above the waves, its light barely reaching the deep where you travel. You continue forward, slow and patient, your senses reading every vibration, every swirl of water around you. Half your brain rests while the other stays sharp, always hunting even in sleep. Far ahead you feel something shift. A fish, wounded, struggling, its movements uneven. You turn without hesitation, letting the current bring you closer until you can end its panic in a single, practiced bite. There is no thrill in this moment, no celebration. You feed calmly, keeping what you need, and then swim on through the silent night, leaving the sea to wash away all traces, as if nothing ever happened. Only your steady motion carrying you forward. The days pass without numbers, each one marked only by the rise and fall of light through the moving water. You travel across wide plains of open sea, the bottom falling away into blue depths where few creatures dare to follow. Your body stays warm, built to move through these colder currents with power and certainty. You glide past drifting jellyfish, their soft bells pulsing in silence, and let them be, uninterested in their ghostly dance. Your hunger does not call for them. Instead, you watch for the stronger signals, the beat of a seal's heart, the faint struggle of a ray hidden under sand, the sudden swirl of fish breaking their calm. When the moment comes, you are ready. A seal slips too far from its group, its young body still learning the currents, unaware of your shape moving below. You rise slowly, hidden against the scattered sunlight, until you explode upward in a perfect strike. The bite is clean, the fight short, and you take only what you need, letting the sea carry the rest to smaller hunters. Nothing is wasted in this place, and you trust that balance. Once fed, you move on without regret, letting the salt water rinse away the moment. Your tail pushes you forward, your gills drinking steady streams of oxygen, and your mind returns to calm emptiness, already open to the next signal, the next chance. Another quiet day in the endless blue. The current shifts with a new chill, rolling in from far offshore, carrying stories of storms you will never see. You feel its pull against your fins, its language spoken in subtle pressure and temperature, and you listen without hesitation. This is the only map you have ever needed. You turn into the flow, letting it guide you along unseen paths that stretch for miles. Smaller fish flee before your shadow, darting into reefs or slipping through curtains of kelp, but you ignore them, focused on the larger prey worth your strength. Patience saves more energy than any muscle, and you have learned that lesson well. Night falls again, deeper now, with the stars scattered like pale fires above the rolling sea. Their light barely reaches where you swim, but you do not need it. Your senses keep you tuned to every flicker, every pulse of life around you. Half your mind rests while the other stays awake, tracking faint trails and echoes of movement. Far below you sense the slow passing of rays across the sand, hidden and still, but you leave them alone tonight. Your hunger can wait for something greater. Your body feels strong, fueled by the last hunt, and you trust the ocean will provide when you need it. There is no rush, only motion, steady and perfect, your place in the vast blue, as certain as the tides themselves, carrying you forward again and again through a world without end. The rising sun breaks through a line of distant clouds, sending pale rays into the rolling sea. You feel the warmth spread over your back, a gentle signal that another day has begun, though it means little in the endless rhythm you follow. You swim without hurry, moving through schools of fish that scatter before you, their small shapes barely worth a glance. Your focus stays on larger patterns, the faint cry of seals along a rocky shore, the way their young slip into the water to test their strength. You remember these hunting grounds, the ways the currents bend around reefs and shallows, and you let instinct guide you closer. The call of a seal pup rings through the water, high and playful, unaware of your shape drifting far below. You wait, patient, a silent shadow among shifting sunbeams. When the moment comes, you rise with controlled force, jaws snapping in a perfect strike. There is no drama, only survival, a meal taken to keep you strong. You eat what you need, then move on, leaving scraps for the smaller hunters who trail your path. Nothing goes to waste in the sea. Your heartbeat steadies, your muscles relax, and you return to the deeper water where the world feels calm and cool. There is no memory, no regret, only the next breath, the next motion, the certainty that tomorrow will come the same, carrying you forward through the blue. The sea stretches out ahead, calm and endless, each slow swell carrying you forward like a gentle breath. You follow the steady rhythm without thought, your body moving in perfect balance with the water's flow. Smaller fish dart past in quick bursts, flashing silver before disappearing into the blue, but you barely notice them. Your focus stays on the deeper trails, the distant vibrations that speak of larger prey, far ahead. The faint cries of seals break through the water, a familiar call that draws you closer. You trust the sea to guide you, to carry you where food waits, never doubting its silent signals. As you approach the shallows, the scent of seals grows stronger, mixed with the warm touch of the rising sun. Young ones splash and chase each other near the rocks, unaware of the danger drifting below. You hold your place, calm and patient, waiting for the mistake you know will come. When it happens, you rise with unstoppable speed, striking with a power refined over countless hunts. The moment is quick, the end certain. You feed without waste, leaving scraps to the smaller hunters. Then you turn back toward deeper water, your muscles full of energy, your mind quiet again. You do not celebrate or mourn. You swim on, trusting the ocean as you always have, ready for another day, another hunt, another breath in the endless blue. The open water greets you once again, stretching far beyond sight, a quiet canvas where nothing interrupts your path. You glide through it with the ease of a lifetime, your tail pushing a steady rhythm, your gills working without pause. The sea feels endless but welcoming, its currents wrapping around you like a familiar voice. There is no destination, only motion, and that is enough. Small fish shimmer below you in nervous schools, moving as one, but you ignore them. Your hunger is patient, holding out for a larger prize, trusting the ocean to deliver when the time is right. As night rises, the first stars glimmer above the rolling surface, faint and distant. You continue moving without slowing, half your mind sleeping, the other half tuned to every change. The current shifts, a cooler stream brushing along your side, carrying with it the faintest scent of blood. You follow, guided by instinct stronger than any thought, letting the water show you the way. Soon you find what you seek, a wounded fish struggling in the dark. You take it in one clean bite, feeding quickly before turning back to the path ahead. There is no pride, no hesitation, only the calm of a predator who knows its place. The sea washes away all signs of the hunt, and you move on, breathing steady, muscles strong, ready for tomorrow, for the next silent moment, when hunger and opportunity meet again in the endless blue. The sun rises again over gentle waves, its pale light spreading warmth through the surface currents. You sense the change in temperature along your skin, a quiet signal that the day has begun, though it matters little to you. Time is measured only by your hunger, by the pull of the tides, by the movements of prey. You swim forward with calm purpose, every motion smooth and practiced. Below you, the sea floor shifts from open sand to scattered rocks, a place where rays sometimes hide. You pause, reading the faint rhythms of the water, but sense nothing worth chasing yet. Patience is your truest advantage, stronger than speed or teeth. Farther ahead, the scent of seals drifts on the current, mixed with traces of fish and the green tang of kelp forests. You follow without question, letting the sea guide you closer. Near the rocks, young seals play and dive, unaware of your presence below. You wait, steady and silent, blending with the shadows until a careless one strays too far. Your body moves like a spring released, bursting upward in a perfect stride. The hunt ends quickly, and you feed with clean efficiency. What remains will feed smaller creatures, completing the ocean's quiet cycle. Once finished, you slip back into deeper water, muscles relaxed, gills pulling fresh oxygen. mind empty of everything but the certainty that you will do this again, again, and again, as long as the sea allows you to swim. The reef fades behind you as you move out into the rolling blue, your path guided only by the invisible flow of currents and the steady pull of your own hunger. The water feels cooler here, touched by distant storms that send their energy across miles of sea. You glide through it easily, body tuned to every shift, every pressure, every faint taste in the water. Smaller fish dart away as you pass, vanishing into the dim spaces below, but you barely notice them. Your senses reach beyond their tiny shapes, searching for the heavier rhythms of larger prey. In this calm, you feel fully yourself, built for motion, for patience, for survival. Night comes with a quiet grace, stars barely reaching through the restless waves. You swim on, half your mind resting, while the other half stays alert to the ocean's whispers. Somewhere ahead a subtle scent draws your attention, a promise carried by the current. You follow with no doubt, letting the sea lead you closer, trusting it completely. A wounded fish appears in the gloom, weak and slow. You end its struggle in a single, clean bite, feeding without waste or thought beyond the next breath. As soon as you finish, you move on, leaving nothing behind but a faint memory the water will soon erase. Your tail moves in perfect rhythm, your heart steady, and the endless blue calls you forward once more, ready to continue your journey wherever the ocean decides. The years roll on as steadily as the waves, marked only by the faint silvering of your scars and the slow weight settling into your powerful muscles. You are larger now, more massive than you ever dreamed as a pup, but you also feel the stiffness that comes with age. Your jaw still snaps with deadly force, but your movements take a moment longer to gather. It does not matter. You have learned that patience is your greatest strength. Waiting in calm stillness for the perfect moment to strike. The ocean is filled with clues, and you know how to read them better than any young, reckless hunter. One season, you return to familiar hunting grounds near a rocky island where seals haul out to rest. The young ones tumble into the water, learning to swim with clumsy confidence. You stay far below, letting the dim blue swallow your shape. Years of experience have taught you how to blend with the light, to rise unseen until the final instant. When the opportunity comes, you attack with flawless timing, jaws opening wide to take the prey with a single crushing bite. There is no waste, no cruelty, just the clean purpose of a predator that knows exactly what it needs. Between hunts, you drift over the open sea, following nothing more than the pulse of currents and the deep pull of your instincts. The ocean offers no guarantees, but you trust its rhythm completely. Even as your body slows, your senses stay as sharp as ever, reading the faintest change in temperature, the smallest vibration of a wounded fish. You no longer chase every opportunity, choosing instead the best moments, conserving your energy for the hunts that truly matter. Your scars are badges of survival, reminders that the sea has tested you again and again, and you have always answered with strength. A storm rises one night, churning the surface into chaos far above you. In the deep, the water grows cooler and steady, wrapping around you like a calm heartbeat. You continue your patrol, half your mind resting while the other stays alert, a habit earned through a lifetime of travel. There is no fear, only the knowledge that you belong here in this silent blue world. The ocean has been your home since birth, its language more familiar to you than breath itself. You will follow its call as long as your muscles move, trusting it to lead you forward, one hunt at a time, until the day you cannot swim anymore. And you accept that without regret. Time moves without counting, each tide carrying you forward through another season. Your body grows heavier, the scars across your fins and snout more pronounced, a map of all the battles and hunts you have survived. You no longer test every rival, choosing instead to show your size with slow, confident circles. Most sharks understand this language and turn away before a fight begins. But sometimes a young male, fresh with hunger and boldness, will challenge you. When that happens, you answer with controlled power, a quick display of force that reminds him you still own these waters. A snap of your jaws, a hard shove, and the challenger usually flees, leaving you to patrol in peace. The ocean's rhythms remain your truest guide. You follow the cold upwellings, where fish gather, where seals hunt and breed, where rays drift over the sand in lazy spirals. Your senses are as keen as ever, picking out a heartbeat hidden below, or the wounded flutter of a fish struggling after an injury. You choose your hunts carefully, saving energy, striking only when the success is nearly certain. The smaller meals no longer tempt you as they did in youth. You know they will not sustain you for long. Patience has become as natural to you as breathing, and you wait for the best moment, the right prey, letting the sea bring what you need. One night you follow a familiar current, past deep rocks where you once fought for territory. Memories of that clash flash through your mind, the rush of water, the bite of teeth, the certainty that you would not yield. You survived. You always did, and that confidence remains even as your muscles grow slower. Your gills draw fresh water with steady pulls, and your tail beats in measured strokes, carrying you through the endless night. There is no fear of the dark, no fear of the cold. You are part of this place, bound to its quiet rhythm until the last breath leaves you, trusting the ocean to decide how your story ends. The sunrise returns, breaking through the calm sea with a pale glow that filters gently through the blue. You feel its warmth on your back, a small comfort that reminds you of how many dawns you have seen, how many hunts, how many seasons passing without a single pause. Your teeth have been replaced hundreds of times, rows of new blades pushing forward as the old ones broke and fell away. Still, they feel blunter than before, and your jaw does not close with quite the same force. You notice this, but it does not shake you. You know your place in this world, and you know how to choose a hunt that will not test you beyond your limits. You follow a trail of scent through the shallows, picking up the coppery note of a wounded seal, a gift carried by the current. You track it patiently, letting the sea deliver you closer until you see its limping shape against the rocks. There is no rush. You wait for the moment when the seal grows tired, when it can no longer fight the pull of the water, and then you strike with measured precision. The kill is quick, and you feed calmly, taking just what you need. When you finish, you turn away, leaving scraps to the smaller fish. Nothing is wasted, as always. Your body grows heavier in the following days, moving with a stiffness that you cannot shake. You rest more often between hunts, drifting on the currents that once seemed too slow for you. There is a quiet acceptance in that, a knowledge that you have survived long past many others, and that one day the ocean will reclaim your strength, as it reclaims everything. But until that moment comes, you swim on, your gills pulling the sea through you, your heart beating its steady rhythm, a living part of the endless blue. The seasons change again, the water cooling as winter currents sweep along the coast. You follow them instinctively, the patterns as familiar to you as your own heartbeat. Each year, the young seals return to their rocky islands, learning to swim in awkward, playful circles, unaware of the patient hunter waiting far below. Your movements have grown slower with age, but your senses remain sharp. You wait, blending with the shadows, conserving every ounce of energy until one seal strays too far. Then, with a practiced surge, you close the distance, jaws snapping shut in a moment older than memory. The hunt still brings you food, though not the thrill it once did. Only the calm certainty that you will live another day. Between hunts, you drift along familiar routes, the ocean carrying you like a slow current of memories. Reefs you once fought to control, drop-offs where you challenged rivals. Hunting grounds that once teemed with life now lie quieter, changed by storms and shifting seasons. You feel your body tiring more easily, your scars growing thick and pale, the marks of a lifetime spent surviving. But there is no fear in you. The sea has taught you everything you know, and you trust it fully. You will keep swimming as long as breath moves through your gills, accepting that when you cannot, the ocean will take you back without cruelty, just as it has always fed you. In the end, you are the ocean, and the ocean is you. The ocean rolls with a steady pulse beneath you, its currents familiar and welcoming as you move through them with absolute confidence. Your body cuts through the blue like a silent arrow, each motion practiced from countless hunts, each turn guided by instincts you trust more than thought itself. Reefs rise in the distance, decorated with coral and swirling fish that scatter before your passing. The scent of seals drifts across the flow, a thread woven into the fabric of the sea, and you follow it without question, reading every swirl of water, every faint trace of motion. This is your place, a kingdom of rolling tides, salt and sun-dappled blue, where you move without fear. You glide toward a familiar hunting ground, the shallows where young seals learn to swim in choppy, playful bursts. They do not sense you yet, your shadow hidden among the broken rays of light that dance through the surface. You wait in calm stillness, letting the ocean cradle you, measuring every heartbeat above. Patience is a language you have mastered, and when the moment comes, you respond without hesitation, surging upward in a burst of unstoppable power. Your jaws close around your target in one swift, perfect motion, answering hunger with clean precision. Then you turn back to deeper water, leaving no panic behind. Only the quiet acceptance of the sea's endless rhythm, carrying you onward once more. The current bends around a low ridge of rock, swirling tiny fish in a cloud of silver that parts as you pass. Your movement is effortless, each flick of your tail carried by a rhythm as old as the sea itself. You know these waters the way a bird knows the wind, every change in salt and pressure as familiar as breath. Somewhere ahead, a distant splash echoes through the blue, a seal leaping clear of the surface. You taste its panic on the current, the sharp copper tang of fresh injury, and shift your path without hesitation. There is no hurry. The ocean brings what you need, and you trust it to deliver, just as it always has. As you close in on the wounded seal, your mind stays clear, empty of anything except the patient focus of the hunt. Your shape blends with broken sunlight, your pale underside invisible from above, your dark back melting into the depths below. Each heartbeat feels steady, your senses tuned to the smallest flicker of movement ahead. Then you strike, rising from below in a flawless burst of speed, jaws closing with unstoppable certainty. The seal goes still, the moment finished before it even understands. You feed cleanly, then return to the deeper water without pride or regret, carried forward once more by the calm, endless blue. The reef ahead glows softly under the shifting sunlight, its coral towers stirring with the constant rush of water and life. You glide past it with measured calm, ignoring the swirl of small fish that break apart in nervous bursts around your passing shadow. Their panic does not interest you. Your mind stays on the deeper rhythms, the slow movements of larger prey that match your steady heartbeat. The ocean is generous, and you have learned never to chase what cannot sustain you. Instead, you move with quiet confidence, letting the current do most of the work, carrying you through a kingdom built on patience and precision. Farther along, you sense a faint vibration against your snout, the distant stirring of a ray buried in the sand. You slow, hovering above, reading the subtle shift in the water where its wings gently pulse beneath a thin blanket of grains. Your eyes adjust the play of light and shadow until the shape becomes clear. It is large enough to matter. In a practiced rush you drop down, jaws snapping through sand and flesh in a single bite. There is no struggle, only acceptance, as the ray goes limp. You feed, slow and clean, then move on before the scent of blood can call others. The sea erases your path as quickly as it revealed it, leaving you free to continue, a silent master of the endless blue. You follow a steady path beyond the reef, moving toward deeper waters where the ocean's heart seems to beat more slowly. Here the sunlight fades, turning the world into layers of blue and green, soft and quiet. You know these depths as well as you know the warm shallows, each current a familiar road, each swirl of salt a message you have learned to read without thought. Above, schools of fish scatter in glittering ribbons, their quick shapes darting away from your silent form. You do not chase them. They offer nothing worth the effort. Instead, you glide onward, calm and unhurried, listening for a signal that speaks to your deeper hunger. Time, a distant splash rolls through the water, followed by the subtle thrum of a struggling heart. You angle your body toward it, muscles poised, yet relaxed, carried by instinct as old as the ocean itself. The shape appears ahead, a seal, weakened and alone. You hold your distance, patient, watching its frantic movements with the practiced calm of a hunter who has learned never to waste energy. When the moment arrives, you rise in a perfect surge, jaws closing in a single clean motion. The water grows still, and you feed without waste, then turn away, leaving nothing behind but fading echoes, your path clear once more. Guided by the sea's unbroken rhythm, the water shifts with a sudden tension you cannot ignore, a vibration carried through miles of salt and current. You slow, reading the signals, tasting the faint trace of something powerful, then it comes again. A pattern you know but do not welcome. Orcas. Their calls echo through the sea, sharp and bright, speaking to one another with a confidence that rivals your own. You stay low, drifting along the dark edge of a reef, letting its stone walls break your outline. Your heart steadies, your mind tuned to every flicker in the water. They hunt with teamwork, and you know better than to challenge them alone. One of their shadows crosses the sunlight above, searching, scanning. You hold perfectly still, each gill pulling slow, careful breaths as you blend with the gloom. Their shape circles once, twice, so close you can see its white belly flashing in the beams of broken sun. But you do not move, and at last they pass, drawn toward easier prey, their clicks fading. Only then do you slide from the reef's shelter, muscles tight, tail strong, moving on with practiced calm. The storm slow, light. The ocean has tested you before, and it will again. You swim forward without fear, knowing you have survived another trial, still ruler of your quiet peace of the endless blue. The water grows warmer as you pass over a shallow shelf, sunlight scattering through the kelp forests that sway in long green curtains. A group of dolphins cuts across your path, their high clicks ringing through the blue in playful bursts. You watch them pass, your dark eye calm, reading the way they move together like one living ribbon. They barely notice you, their speed and numbers too much for you to challenge, and you hold your steady line as they vanish into the bright shimmer of the shallows. You have no reason to chase them. Patience is stronger than hunger, and the ocean always brings you something more fitting. Farther along the shelf, you taste the soft copper of a seal moving through the kelp. Its heartbeat quickens as it senses you, flashing past with powerful strokes to hide among the twisting fronds. You turn your head, following its trail with a quiet confidence, though you do not rush. A meal will come, perhaps this seal, perhaps another. You trust the water to deliver. The forest bends with each surge of current, breaking the light into a shifting, dreamlike dance. You drift deeper into its shadows, moving with all the calm certainty of a hunter who belongs to this blue world, letting instinct decide when it is time to strike. The day grows quiet as you leave the kelp forests behind, moving into deeper, cooler water where the sunlight fades to soft blue-green shadows. Your senses sharpen, tuned to every faint vibration that crosses your path. A sea turtle drifts ahead, grazing calmly on drifting algae, its shell mottled with age and barnacles. You swim closer, reading its slow, gentle movements, but you do not hunt it. There is no challenge there, no meal worth the energy, and you pass by with silent grace. The turtle barely glances your way, accustomed to the hush of your presence, and goes on feeding, its peaceful rhythm unbroken. Far below, the seafloor rises into a rocky canyon where rays bury themselves in warm sand, their wing-like fins stirring slow clouds of silt with each breath. You move across their world like a ghost, steady and powerful, scanning for the heavier pulse of something worth pursuing. A young halibut darts away from your shadow, vanishing between stone and weed, but you keep your focus on the deeper current, trusting it to lead you toward a true hunt. The ocean is wide, and you have learnt never to waste effort, so you keep moving forward, quiet and certain, part of the endless flow that has carried you since the moment you were born. The open water calls to you once more, its steady surge pulling you beyond the canyon and into rolling swells that stretch for miles. Your tail moves in calm, measured beats, each stroke carrying you deeper into a world where the water cools and darkens. Somewhere in that quiet blue, you sense a school of tuna flashing past in tight formation, their powerful bodies cutting through the sea with relentless speed. You watch them from a distance, reading their quick, coordinated turns, and decide they are too swift, too strong to waste a chase on today. You let them pass, your mind clear, trusting the ocean to offer something better. Hours later, you catch the coppery scent of a wounded seal carried on a gentle current. You follow it patiently, your senses alert to every swirl of water and the faint tremble of a struggling heartbeat. The seal appears near the surface, breathing hard, a ragged bite already torn into its side from another hunter's failed attempt. You rise from the depths with steady power, closing the distance without hurry, letting the seal exhaust itself. When the moment is perfect, you strike, ending its fear with a single, decisive bite. The sea falls silent again as you feed, calm and efficient, then slip back into deeper water, ready to wait for the next quiet chance the blue will bring. The orcapod passes like a storm, 3 powerful shapes gliding through the gloom with practiced ease, their voices sharp and quick, speaking to one another in ways you cannot follow. You hold your place against the rocky ledge, muscles still, letting them slip past without challenge. They are too large, too coordinated, and you know better than to test them alone. Once they vanish into the deeper current, you ease away from the shelter, muscles relaxing, tail flicking in slow, confident beats. The sea belongs to no one creature for long, but you have survived this test, as you have survived all the others, still powerful, still a master of your quiet path through the endless blue. The ocean settles again after the orcas pass, leaving a calm quiet that feels almost peaceful. You slip through it with practiced ease, letting the gentle current help you recover from the tension of hiding. Above, seabirds wheel and dive, their shadows flashing across the surface in broken patterns of light. You barely register their presence, focused instead on the deeper signals that carry through the water. Somewhere along a rocky slope, you catch the faint drumming of a small group of seals, barking and playing along the surface. You know their habits, their rhythms, and you adjust your course, drifting closer with the confidence of a predator who has done this 1,000 times. The seals chase each other in bursts of speed, darting through patches of kelp and shallow rock pools. You stay below, invisible in the dappled light, letting your dark back blend with the deep. You wait until a young one, bolder than the rest, strays into deeper water. Patience steadies your heart, your movements as slow as the turning tide. Then you rise from below, powerful and silent, jaws opening, in a clean, practiced stride. The seal barely has time to turn before you end the chase with a single bite. The ocean goes still again, and you feed calmly, leaving the scraps to smaller fish, who wait patiently in the shadows. The currents change direction as you leave the hunting ground, carrying the faint scent of shifting seasons through the water. You follow it instinctively, reading every subtle difference in salt and temperature, letting the sea guide you forward. Far beneath you, the seafloor slopes into a broad plain of sand, scattered with rays resting beneath its surface. You drift over them with a calm, steady grace, their slow wing beats stirring clouds of dust as they sense your shadow. They offer no challenge, and you leave them in peace, searching for something more substantial to fuel your endless journey. As you move deeper, a lone yellowfin tuna passes across your path, its powerful body flashing like polished metal in the dim light. You watch it with quiet interest, knowing its speed and stamina make it a difficult hunt. Still, you feel the familiar surge of purpose and turn to follow, pacing it through rolling blue swells. For long moments you match its movements, letting it tire, reading its turns before committing to the chase. Then, with a perfect surge, you close the distance, jaws snapping through muscle and scale. The hunt ends quickly, the sea swallowing any sign of struggle, and you feed, calm and efficient, ready for whatever waits beyond the next wave. The blue rolls on with a quiet certainty as you continue your path, each pulse of water carrying you farther into the open sea. Sunlight breaks across the surface in shifting ribbons that fade the deeper you dive, wrapping you in cool, calming shadows. You have followed these patterns for as long as you can remember, trusting them to bring you food and keep you safe. Ahead, a school of mackerel flashes through the water, turning in unison like a living wall of silver. You slip among them, ignoring their panicked rush, searching instead for something larger, something worth your measured effort. A faint trace of blood crosses your path, drawn along the current like a ribbon. You turn toward it, reading every swirl and twist of water until the trail grows stronger. A harbour seal, wounded and slow, comes into view near a bed of kelp. Its movements are uneven, one flipper marked by a deep bite that has already drained its strength. You glide closer with unhurried certainty, letting the seal exhaust itself, feeling the steady calm of a hunter who knows patience better than hunger. When the moment arrives, you strike, clean and quick, ending its struggle with a single, practiced bite. Then you slip away, leaving only quiet behind, ready for another mile of blue. The tides grow stronger as you move across a deep trench, the cold currents rising from below with a chill that wakes every sense in your body. You feel the change instantly, muscles bracing, gills pulling steady breaths as the water thickens with the smell of distant storms. Far above, the surface heaves with rolling swells, but down here, everything is slow and steady. You let the current carry you across the trench's edge, scanning the shadows where larger fish sometimes hide. A grouper shifts from behind a ledge, heavy-bodied and bold, but you decide to leave it. Your instincts tell you there is a better meal ahead, carried by the same water that guides you. Hours later, as you move along a ridge of coral, a sea lion appears, moving with quick, powerful strokes through the clear water. You watch it with steady calm, reading the way it weaves among the rocks, confident and unaware. You wait below, letting the faint beams of sunlight break and scatter across your back. The sea lion's heartbeat is strong, its movement still full of energy, so you hold your place, letting patience guide you instead of impulse. Another time will come, you know, when that strength falters, and you will be there, ready. Until then, you move on, powerful and unhurried, carried by the rhythm of the endless blue. The reef gives way to an open plain of sand, rolling gently across the seafloor like a quiet desert beneath the waves. You pass over it with calm certainty, your senses tuned to every faint flicker of life hidden below. Stingrays lie buried here, their shapes outlined only by the gentle rise and fall of their breathing. You watch them with detached focus, remembering hunts in younger days when you would dive down to snap them from the sand. Now you hold your course, reading the water ahead, searching for something larger that will satisfy you for days rather than moments. Patience remains your greatest ally, stronger than any tooth. Farther out, the water grows darker, the sunlight softening until it feels more like a dream than a lamp. You slip through that gloom without fear, trusting the steady beat of your tail to carry you forward. A faint sound catches your attention, the quick, bright clicks of dolphins traveling together. You sense them long before they come into view, their voices weaving across the blue in playful chatter. They pass above you, their pod tight and fast, their confidence unbroken. You let them go, knowing they are beyond your reach, and hold to your path with measured calm, still the patient hunter who belongs to this sea. The ocean feels wide and endless as you move through it, each gentle surge of current a reminder of how far you have travelled and how well you know this world. Along a steep drop-off, the water cools and stills, growing thick with shadows and the scent of ancient rocks. You glide along the cliff face, scanning for any heartbeat or shimmer of movement. Smaller fish dart into holes and cracks, hiding from your silent approach, but you barely notice them. Your senses stay tuned for something greater, something worth your measured strength. You have learned to wait, to trust the sea's patterns, knowing they will bring you what you need. In time you catch the faint copper tang of a wounded tuna, its struggle drifting across the current like a quiet bell. You turn toward it, guided by a perfect calm, closing the distance with each slow, powerful beat of your tail. The tuna tries to flee, muscles flashing, but its wounds hold it back, leaving it helpless against your precision. You strike without hesitation, jaws closing in a clean, practiced bite, ending the chase before it truly begins. The sea accepts the moment as easily as you do, and you feed calmly, then move on, returning to the endless blue with no fear, no hurry, only the steady peace of belonging. The current shifts again as you leave the cliffs behind, drawing you toward shallower water where the sun cuts bright patterns through the surface. You follow it with steady confidence, each flick of your tail guided by a rhythm older than memory. Ahead, a kelp forest stretches like a living maze, its long green blades rising and falling with each surge of the tide. You slip among them with perfect ease, your shadow melting into shifting ribbons of light. Smaller fish shelter here, darting between fronds, safe from most hunters, but not from you should you choose to strike. Today you pass them by, conserving your energy for a better prize. Past the kelp, the scent of sea lions hangs thick on the current. You taste their presence even before you see them, loud and careless near the rocks where they haul out to rest. Their voices carry through the water, playful and unaware. You hold to the deeper shadows, moving with measured calm, reading their patterns. One young sea lion slips away from the group, testing its courage in deeper water. You watch, patient and silent, letting instinct guide you. When the moment arrives, you surge upward, quick and certain, jaws closing with perfect precision. The sea lion goes still, and you feed without waste before returning to the deep, leaving only quiet behind. The ocean stretches wide as you move on, carried by the steady push of a gentle current rolling through the blue. Your body feels strong, each beat of your tail smooth and sure as you travel miles without hesitation. Along a shallow ridge, the sun lights the water so brightly that every grain of sand seems to glow. You pass over fish weaving between bits of coral, their tiny scales flashing like quicksilver before they vanish into holes and cracks. You hardly notice them, focused instead on the larger shapes that might break through the distance. Something worthy of your patient strength and sharpened senses. Hours pass in calm rhythm until a splash reaches you from above, the unmistakable thump of a seal leaping and diving through the warm shallows. You taste its trail on the water, rich with life, carried like a promise across the current. You turn with a practiced grace, drawing closer without breaking your calm, holding to the shadows until the seal drifts too far from the rocky safety of the colony. Then, in one perfect surge, you close the distance, jaws snapping through blubber and muscle, before the seal can even twist away. The hunt is clean, the meal complete, and you glide back toward deeper water, powerful and certain, still the master of your endless world. The days turn quiet as the current carries you through familiar hunting grounds, patterns you have followed for years without fail. Yet today you notice a subtle change within yourself, a faint ache in your tail after a long swim, a pause before the next strong beat of your muscles. Your senses remain sharp, tuned to the smallest flicker of prey, but there is a heaviness in your body you cannot ignore. You move steadily through the water, reading every shift and swirl, trusting the sea to guide you as it always has. Above, a group of seals barks and dives through sunlight, unaware of the silent hunter drifting below, watching with calm, measured patience. You rise for a hunt as you have so many times, the timing perfect, the strike clean, but afterward you feel the pull of fatigue settle deeper into your muscles. The ocean still welcomes you, still offers its endless blue, but you sense your power does not flow as freely as before. This does not frighten you, it feels as natural as the changing tide. You take your meal with quiet focus, then turn back to the deeper water to rest, letting the current support you. For now, you still rule these hunting grounds, even as the first small signs of age remind you that nothing in the sea stays the same forever. The ocean rolls on with its steady, unbroken rhythm, carrying you through currents that feel as familiar as your own heartbeat. But each mile seems longer now, each slow surge of your tail drawing a little more effort than it once did. Your scars tell the story of countless hunts and battles, white lines crossing thick skin that has weathered every test the sea has given you. The smaller sharks keep their respectful distance, reading your confidence, your size, your history. You move through them with quiet authority, still the master of these waters, even as a dull ache settles deeper in your muscles. A faint trail of seal drifts across the current, and you follow it with steady patience, letting instinct guide you. You rise through beams of pale sunlight, reading the young seal's path as it plays too far from the safety of the rocks. Your strike is clean, perfect, a reminder of all the strength that still lives inside you. Yet afterward, you feel how your tail slows, how your heart beats a little harder to recover. You glide into the deep to rest, letting the water cradle you. There is no regret, no panic, only the calm knowledge that time touches every creature in the ocean, and you will meet that truth with the same unshakable calm you have carried since the day you first swam. The seasons shift again as you travel the coastline, drawn by the changing pull of colder waters and the return of the migrating fish. You follow the familiar trails, reading the patterns of prey as easily as breathing, though each mile weighs a little heavier than before. Your muscles tighten with the chill, and you sense your body moving slower, needing longer to rest between hunts. Still, you swim with purpose, each flick of your tail steady and measured, refusing to give up the habits that have carried you through countless years in this blue kingdom. One evening, you cross paths with another shark, younger and bold, its movements quick and hungry. It circles you once, testing your confidence, measuring your scars. You turn calmly to face it, showing no fear, only the depth of your experience etched across your powerful shape. That is enough. The younger shark slides away, unwilling to challenge you directly. You watch it go, feeling a quiet pride that even now the sea respects you. Your gills pull the cool water through your body, and you turn back into the open ocean, still the hunter, still strong, even as age begins to leave its quiet marks on your journey. The currents feel colder as the days roll on, brushing against your fins with a chill that seeps deeper than before. You move through them with familiar patience, reading the ocean's signals with the same quiet confidence, but you cannot deny that each hunt asks more of you now. Your powerful tail answers your mind's command a moment slower, and the surges of strength that once came so easily feel heavier. Still, you trust the sea. It has always provided, and you have always answered, carried forward by an instinct older than memory itself. Far ahead, the playful cries of young seals echo through the shallows, and you follow them, knowing they offer a chance to feed. You slip among the rocks where they dive and chase one another, your shape hidden in the broken light. Patience guides you, as always, and when one strays too far, you rise with practiced precision, ending the hunt before panic can even begin. You feed calmly, then sink back to deeper water to rest, letting the slow pulse of the ocean soothe the ache in your muscle. There is no fear in you, only the acceptance that every life follows this path, every heart slowing in its own time, carried home by the blue. The sun rises through pale waves, spreading soft light across the rolling surface, but you barely feel its warmth as you travel below. Your body, once quick to recover after every hunt, now holds a lingering heaviness, a deep fatigue that does not fade with rest. Yet your mind remains clear, focused, reading the patterns of the ocean as sharply as ever. You follow a gentle current along a reef, sensing the trails of fish and rays drifting through its coral towers. You no longer chase them for practice or excitement. You save your strength, choosing only what will sustain you, guided by calm patience. Farther along, you pass over a rocky slope where smaller sharks gather, their young shapes flashing through the blue with wild energy. They sense you coming and turn aside, respectful of your silent power and the history written across your scars. You let them pass without challenge, holding to your steady path. These waters have been yours longer than any of them have lived, and that calm legacy remains strong in your presence. The ocean moves around you with gentle familiarity, welcoming you through every current and swirl, reminding you that you still belong, no matter how slow your heart has begun to beat. One afternoon, you sense a seal near the rocks, alone and unaware. You turn toward it with the same measured focus, rising from the gloom in a clean, powerful strike. Your jaws close with practiced precision, ending the hunt before fear can take root. The seal feeds you, giving you the strength to move on, and you leave what remains for smaller fish, as the sea always intended. Afterward, you drift in the current, letting it carry you with gentle patience, each beat of your tail steady but slow. The ocean cradles you, reminding you with every rolling wave that you are still its hunter, still part of its timeless song. The ocean grows quiet as you travel farther from shore, drawn by a current that feels familiar, almost comforting. Your muscles ache with every turn, a deep fatigue that seems to settle into your bones, but you continue forward, guided by an instinct that has never failed you. Sunlight breaks through the waves in pale ribbons, brushing over the scars across your powerful frame. Reminders of all the seasons you have survived, you let the light warm you, drifting through it without fear, remembering every hunt, every rival, every moment you claimed your place in the sea. A group of seals plays beyond the rocks, their shapes bright and quick, but you do not follow them. Hunger feels distant now, less important than the calm of simply moving through the blue. You hold steady in deeper water, letting the tide rock you like a lullaby, eyes half closed as you ride the familiar flow. Smaller fish gather in your wake, unafraid of you now, as if they sense you are no longer hunting them. You accept this without regret. The ocean has given you everything, and you have taken what you needed with respect. Now, it asks for nothing but your quiet trust as you swim on, peaceful and unhurried, through its endless heart. The deep blue welcomes you with a calm you have come to treasure, a familiar hush that seems to slow even your own heartbeat. Your movements are careful now, measured and gentle, as if you sense each stroke could be among the last. There is no fear in you, only a patient readiness, a trust that the sea will hold you just as it always has. Far off, the sound of dolphins rises through the water, their playful clicks weaving through currents you have travelled for years. You listen to them without moving, letting their songs wash through you like a final blessing. You turn once more across a gentle slope, where the sand glows pale in the broken sunlight. The water is cool and soft, carrying no threat, no rush. Smaller fish drift close, bold enough to swim alongside you now, reading the calm in your shape. You do not hunt them, simply watch, content to share these last quiet miles. Every part of you feels heavy, but you keep moving, slow and steady, through the world you have ruled for so long. There is peace in each moment, a closing chapter written in the steady pull of the tide. The deep blue welcomes you with a calm you have come to treasure, a familiar hush that seems to slow even your own heartbeat. Your movements are careful now, measured and gentle, as if you sense each stroke could be among the last. There is no fear in you, only a patient readiness, a trust that the sea will hold you just as it always has. Far off, the sound of dolphins rises through the water, their playful clicks weaving through currents you have travelled for years. You listen to them without moving, letting their songs wash through you like a final blessing. You turn once more across a gentle slope where the sand glows pale in the broken sunlight. The water is cool and soft, carrying no threat, no rush. Smaller fish drift close, bold enough to swim alongside you now, reading the calm in your shape. You do not hunt them, simply watch, content to share these last quiet miles. Every part of you feels heavy, but you keep moving, slow and steady, through the world you have ruled for so long. There is peace in each moment, a closing chapter written in the steady pull of the tide. The sea seems to breathe around you, its long, gentle swells rocking you as if to ease the weight pressing through your tired muscles. You move slowly across an open plain of sand, remembering how you once chased rays here, young and bursting with energy. Those hunts live in your mind like soft echoes now, reminders of seasons filled with certainty and strength. You do not mourn them. Instead, you carry them with you, letting those memories steady your heart as you swim on. Slower than before, but still guided by instinct that will never leave you. Above, the sun slips through the waves in threads of gold, lighting the path ahead as if showing you the way home. You follow it with calm resolve, each beat of your tail measured, each breath through your gills drawn deeper, slower. The smaller fish no longer scatter at your presence, drifting close as if you belong among them. You do. The sea accepts you with no questions, the same as it did when you were young. You trust its quiet promise, knowing it has carried you from your first breath to these final journeys, and will hold you for as long as you choose to move through its endless blue. The ocean feels calm and endless around you, a cradle of salt and memory that holds you without question. Your tail moves only when it must, each stroke gentle, conserving what little strength remains. There is no hunger now, only a quiet knowing that your time is drawing close. You pass above familiar rocks where once you ambushed seals with unstoppable force, and the echoes of those hunts flow through your mind like a comforting story told in the language of tooth and tide. You are not afraid. This is the path, written for every creature born of the sea. As you glide deeper, the light softens until it feels more like a dream than a place. You let it wash over your scars, over the broad shape that ruled these waters for so many seasons, feeling the weight of all you have survived. Smaller fish trail beside you now, unafraid, honoring you in their quiet way. You let the current guide you, breathing slow and deep, trusting that the ocean knows how to carry you one last time. There is peace here, a final calm, and you surrender to it willingly, ready to rest in the world that made you, where the tide will soon take you home. The sea surrounds you with a hush as deep as sleep, rocking you in its steady arms. Your tail grows still, your breath slowing until it feels like the gentle rhythm of a distant tide. There is no pain, only a calm that fills every part of you. You drift down toward the soft sand, the water carrying you with kindness, the blue wrapping around you like a final gift. The world above continues, sunlight dancing, fish swimming, life flowing on exactly as it always has. You have given yourself to this ocean fully, and now it accepts you back, without sorrow, without fear, as a perfect part of its endless cycle.